To all those people who totally suck at going through airport security, I want you to know one thing. The entire travel community, all of us, completely hate you. You are bad people. In this video, we're going to cover how not to suck at going through airport security. Seriously, people, it's not that hard. You take out your liquids, you put them in one bag. You take out your laptops or your big electronics, you put them in a different bin. That's about it. And you don't put anything metal into your pockets. That's as complicated as it is. Okay, so if you're gonna go through security and you're not gonna be a total noob about it, this is what you wanna do. Your single goal should be try to go as fast as humanly possible. Now, TSA or whoever it is, depending on what country you're in, they're gonna focus on making sure you don't get through with any bad things, which is probably good for all of us. Your goal, on the other hand, is just make sure you go as fast as humanly possible. By far, the best thing you can do for yourself then is to skip the standard line, because the standard line is very, very slow. Now, there's a couple ways to do this. The best way, if you're global, meaning anywhere on planet Earth, is to get some kind of status on your airline of choice. Now, there's lots of different ways to do this, and I'll link to some other videos on how to make that happen. But generally, the idea is that if you fly a lot and you fly on one airline in particular, you can then go through expedited security. So that doesn't mean you get to skip security, it just means you get to go in a little faster pace. If that's your best option for most places in the world. If you're a citizen of the United States, I have good news and bad news for you. Bad news first. Your security or our security is some of the most inconvenient and annoying in the entire world. I've gone through some extremely strict countries like Israel before, and they just have the system down. Like, it was very straightforward, everyone knows what to do. It actually is a pretty, generally speaking, it's a fast process. In the United States, it's slow, it's invasive, it's kind of ridiculous. You have to take your shoes off. We're the only country that you have to take your shoes off. It's crazy. So for the United States, the bad news is it's really inconvenient. The good news is you can buy your way to the front of the line, which is completely ridiculous, borderline unethical, and it is capitalistic, but weird. It's crazy weird. So here's your options if you live in the United States and you have some money to spend. In the United States, you have two options. You have a program called Clear, and you have a program called TSA Pre. In order to understand the program Clear, it's best to understand how security works. Security at airports have two major sections. They have the identification to make sure that you really are the person who's listed on your boarding pass, and there's the part where you go through and have all your stuff scanned. They're two separate ideas. Clear only helps you with one of them. Clear is a program where you put your retina and your fingerprints on file with the government and with this private organization. And then when you're going through airport security, you can skip the part where you have to usually wait for an officer to verify your identity. Instead, you can just use your fingerprint and this little card thing that they give you. By doing this, you can skip half of the security line. Now, there's a couple problems with this, or a couple pros and cons rather. The first one is price. It's kind of expensive. It goes for about $179 a year. Now, you can get discounts on that. TripIt offers one. The Point Guy offers some discount if you find those different blog posts, which I'll link to. You can get a little bit of discount there. That said, even if you do have the $180, $179 to spend per year, you're only going to find this in about a dozen airports, and they're only in the US. So if you live in Texas, this makes sense for you. If you live in certain parts of California, and Silicon Valley area, it can make sense for you. If you live in lots of other places that are not covered up by these 12 airports, it's not going to make any difference for you because it doesn't help at all. For most Americans, the best option is TSA Pre. TSA Pre is an expedited way of going through the airlines. Now, there's a couple caveats on this. Number one, it costs money. It's $85. Usually you can get your credit card to pay for that. Just make sure and read the fine print so you can see if your credit card does this for you or not. But many of them, especially travel ones, do. The second part is that you have to go in and have an appointment. I've done the appointment. Lots of my friends have done the appointment. It's really easy. It's straightforward. It's very formal, as you would expect. You give them your fingerprints. You give them some information about yourself. They do a basic background check. And that's it. From that point forward, as long as you register with specific airlines, only some airlines do this, not all of them, then they will pick you at random, and it's most of the time, in my experience, 99% of the time. Then you will have TSA Pre given your boarding pass if you're on one of those specific airlines. You can go through an expedited line. You don't have to take off your shoes. You don't have to take off all your jackets. You don't have to take most of the stuff out of your bag. It's just very straightforward. They quickly identify who you are, and then they push your stuff through the scanner like you're a reasonable adult. Now, with TSA Pre, there's two more things that I want to point out. Number one is it comes included if you get global entry. Global entry is a separate program that is useful for getting through customs if you enter the United States through specific airports frequently. That's a really nice program in itself, but if you sign up for that and go through that appointment, you get TSA Pre automatically, which is really nice. The second part of this, and my major downside that I know of with TSA Pre, is it's getting very, very popular. I've actually had two instances where I'm at the airport and I look over at the standard line, I look at the TSA Pre line, and because there's so many people signed up for that program, the TSA line was actually, in that case, the TSA Pre line was actually longer, which obviously you want to avoid and defeats the entire purpose of the entire thing. But Generally speaking, I'd say 85% of my flights, the TSA pre-line is the way to go. If you have to use the standard line, well, that sucks. Here's what you can do. First thing is think about airport security when you're packing. So make sure that you compartmentalize all the things that make sense. When you're going through the security itself, take out all your liquids, put them into a little baggie, take out your laptop, put it on there. If you're in the United States, and only if you're in the United States, take off your shoes. But more important than that, just listen to the TSA officers around you. They're going to tell you what to do. They're going to repeat it in a monotone voice over and over again. So open up your ears, just listen, and plan early. A couple pro tips for you with security, regardless of what country you're in. Number one, use a plastic belt. So I have a belt here. I'll take that off. This is getting kind of awkward, so it'll be a weird video. Just looks like a normal belt, but instead of using a metal clip, it just uses plastic. Does the job of keeping my pants up, which is really helpful, and I don't have to take it off when I'm going through airport. Is this really necessary? No, it's probably not, but it makes me feel better about myself. Number two, bring an empty water bottle, so no liquids in it because they will yell at you. But you can bring an empty one, and as soon as you get through security, you can fill it up elsewhere. That way you have water for you on the plane without having to wait for them to serve you water, which is really, really nice. You can also get one of these travel pouches, travel water pouches. I'll link to them here. They're really, really nice. They let you cover lots of water, and they break down really, really small because they're not made of the same material as water bottles, which is really, really good. The last one is take your wallet and take anything else you have on your metal and just put it into your carry-on. This is as opposed to like getting it out of your pockets and putting it somewhere special, putting it in a separate bin. Just put it all in one spot. This is good for two reasons. One, it's going to eliminate the possibility of you forgetting your stuff because it's already on your carry-on bag. And two, it means you don't have to get an extra bin, which can usually take a few other seconds. And if you're really go through security a lot, like I do, or like other frequent flyers, those couple seconds start to add up. That's all of the knowledge I have to drop today about this very nerdy and specific topic. But I'm sure lots of people on the internet, yourself included, have more to add to this. So please leave some comments below. Let me know what you think, what you can add, what little tricks and tips do you have that save time and save energy for everyone involved. If you think this kind of stuff is really important and useful and you like getting these tips, consider subscribing to this channel. Thanks.